just a couple of moments ago. As plans
The funeral and memorial for Charlie Kirk is now set for this coming Sunday at State Farm Stadium just outside Phoenix.
Charlie Kirk was an amazing man, and he didn't deserve anything that came to him. He was a devoted husband, a devoted father, devoted to Christianity, and he was devoted to debating the youth all around the world, not just the United States.
These are all probably economists, and the same
who
thing.
is John Maynard Keynes?
Obviously I know who Keynes is.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
He's the most famous economist of all time.
You don't know Milton Friedman?
I mean, that's an economist.
Okay.
And me personally, I went to 2 of his debates in person with my girlfriend, and at both of those events, you could not tell me in any way he was being hateful or bigoted or provocative or being controversial in any way.
Okay, how much does that cost?
Room, board, tuition, all of it's around $11,000.
$11,000 a semester. So you pay $22,000 a year in taxes?
No.
Okay, got it. So you're in a tax deficit, which means the U.S. taxpayer is subsidizing your education. That's fine. I'm not faulting you for it, but this is why you're so defensive.
The man just brought his Christian faith, facts, and logic and debated the youth. And they had the perfect opportunity to change his mind. And Charlie had the perfect opportunity to change their minds. It was an open flow of communication between both the left, right, center, non-political. It doesn't matter. It was open communication between both sides. That open flow of communication has been shut down by somebody who said, I want to shut him down. I am done listening to the talk. I'm going to become judge, jury, and executioner and decide for myself what should happen to Charlie Kirk over his opinions. And that is when we go into chaos. I don't think what happened to Charlie should lead to more violence or anything. I think it should lead to more peace. Because at the end of the day, that's what Charlie wanted. That's what he fought for. He just wanted people to see what he saw.
Why would I not have an abortion full term? For medical reasons.
Okay, so at 29 weeks, the baby is nearly fully developed, can recognize the mother's voice, has a heartbeat, has brain waves.
And really keep the lines of communication open. When Charlie was making videos and shorts and all of that, it wasn't just about Charlie. It was about everybody watching, right? Because it wasn't just Charlie getting debated at that point. People who believed in what Charlie believed in were getting debated, right? So if it was about, like, say, abortion or whatever the case may be, if the people who believed what Charlie believed were getting debated by the other person coming to the mic and that person changed their mind, they did that. It wasn't just all about Charlie. And the same can go for Charlie. If somebody's never seen his videos before and they're just like, he's bigoted, he's whatever, you know, and then they watched one of his clips or saw it all the way through and they're like, you know what? You might actually be right. He changed their mind. And that's the thing. We didn't have anybody like Charlie before Charlie. There is nobody who's actually trying to change the minds of others. It's just right and left. And that's it. That's all there ever is. It's just people continuously watching the left content, people continuously watching the right content. Nobody is even attempting to go in the center. When I first started my political journey, essentially, I started by watching Destiny. I watched some of Destiny's stuff and I'm like, okay, his opinions on certain things are cool. I actually think, you know, sometimes he did make good points. But then I started watching Charlie.
In Turning Point USA, we operate with a sense of urgency to turn the country back to the ideas of liberty, which is God's idea, not man's idea. Freedom, which is granted from God, not government.
And I started watching their side of things and I'm like, okay, this makes a lot more sense. This is more aligned with what I think. And then seeing the middle ground where I see Destiny says on a topic, and then I see something like Charlie or anybody else on the right for that matter.
Continue. What do you mean, wow? She's literally doing
her husband just got murdered
on email. Yeah, and she's using it to drive up recruitment for
and
a
you
political
can't even
movement.
condemn the murder. You won't condemn it.
Can't even tell his side
You're
to
so
turn the temperature
deranged
down.
about.
You see the complete disconnect. You see Destiny saying something like, oh, you know, Charlie Kirk is a demon. And it's like, he's not though. After watching his content and seeing what he says, nothing he's ever said makes him a demon. Nothing he's ever said has made him a bad guy in any way. And I've watched hundreds to thousands of his debates. He's always been very kind, very forthcoming, and he's never really cut people off. He's never really been this bad guy that for some reason the left kept demonizing him to be. Destiny said stuff like that. MSNBC, the night of Charlie getting shot, said, hey, you know, this is what happens when you're controversial. You have hundreds of videos on Twitter or X, hundreds of people celebrating the demise of Charlie. You have tens of developers coming out, game developers coming out saying stuff like, oh, we support what happened to Charlie, or liking posts supporting that, or just straight up commenting towards it. And it's like, even if you don't believe what Charlie believed, even if you disagree, does that make it okay to openly celebrate somebody's death or what happened to somebody? Does it make it okay? I don't think that's ever okay, regardless of what the person did. I mean, the guy was a normal person. It's not even like the president. The president almost got assassinated, right? He's the president of the United States. That has happened in our history, where presidents have almost gotten assassinated from people who just disagree. We had Abraham Lincoln. We had JFK, with plenty others, right? And now Trump. And regardless of what you think of him, he's the president of the United States. But nonetheless, going back to Charlie, this man was just a debater. He just debated college kids. He wasn't this huge political figure that somehow had power that could change everything. He was changing minds and talking. And that was the biggest power anybody could have. And that's why they shut him down. They said, he talks too much. He's changing minds too much. He's openly making people more conservative, people more right-wing. So we have to shut him down before he takes away all of our supporters, because the left is losing so many people because of just the absolute damage they've done the past couple of months to years. I mean, you look at the riots in LA, they were supposedly peaceful protests. Every video I saw, nothing was peaceful at all. And it was obvious somebody was donating to the cause, because they were getting gas masks from cars and they were getting bricks given to them. You see all this stuff and you're like, what is going on? Like, this is all funded to rile people up. This is all funded to keep people brainwashed. Whereas Charlie helped cancel that out. You had people going, yeah, dude, these riots are just peaceful, and, you know, the president is a horrible man. And then you had Charlie pretty much break it all down with facts and reason, and really help to understand these things better as more human of a take. Right? It's not just, oh yeah, this is the news, and just, you know, extremely biased. He used facts to bring it up, like back everything up he's saying. It was never just, yeah, dude, like, I'm saying this just to say it. And I think that's the point with all of this. The second that somebody decided to be judge, jury, and executioner is the second that we lose communication on both sides. And that's exactly what happened. So now the left is just in complete panic, disarray, or they're celebrating. And then the right is distraught and sad, because anybody on the right, you know, they must have seen Charlie. They must have known Charlie at some point, and the guy was a good guy. I mean, I talked to him for a couple minutes at the debate, and I said how much he's changed me, and I said how great of a guy he was, and I'm glad I was able to say that before something happened to him, because he was a good man, and he didn't deserve anything coming to him. But that's pretty much the end of this thought, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe.